Hey guys, welcome to Gregsbeerreviews today. It's beer 30. Let's go take a walk, see what's in the fridge today. Hey guys, thanks for stopping by Gregsbeerreviews today. Today's beer comes from No Label Brewing. They are out of Katy, Texas. This was sent to me by Brandon C. down in Texas. So Brandon, thanks a bunch, brother, for sending this to me. I apologize to everybody that has sent me pumpkin beers, and here we are. I'm doing this on the 26th of December, which we probably won't post till sometime in January of 2017. That I haven't got to these beers. I've had so many of them sent to me recently that I was trying to get to the low ABV beers and the IPAs, and these end up taking the beating and setting in the back of the fridge until now. So, and I've done a bunch over the last week or so, and just wanted to get all of them out of there. This is a big beer. This is a 9.27% alcohol by volume. Imperial Pumpkin Ale. And this is I was going to say it's a barrel aged, but it is not. And it may be a date on it, but it's sweating where I got it out of the fridge. We'll check for a date. I'm pretty sure it's this year's edition, but we'll check when I come back for the final chug. I don't have the IBUs listed here on Rate Beer, and Beer Advocate usually doesn't even list it anyway, so Untapped has it at 15, which is not very much at all. A lot of them are around 30 on the IBUs for these Imperial pumpkin beers, so this should be very sweet and not bitter at all, considering it's 9.27%. So the commercial description on this one says, they say the rice silos in Katy are haunted. Late at night you may hear old Ben Johnson banging up a storm in the scary room. Our parents never told us what happened to old Ben Johnson to make him so upset, but maybe this beer will satiate him as much as us. I probably butchered that word up there. But, do you believe in ghosts? You believe in ghosts. You believe in haunted houses? I'm not much into that, guys. Just don't. It's just me, though. There's plenty of people that get scared and afraid of ghosts and all that kind of stuff. There may be some kind of paranormal things going on, but I've not experienced it. So I don't have any trouble sleeping at night and not worrying about what's under my bed. Usually I know what's under my bed. A pair of shoes or some dust. Anyway, nothing else we need to talk about. Food pairings for this is just like the ones we did yesterday and the day before. It says here, general dessert, the meat is poultry, glassware to pint, becker, and non tumbler, and not recommended for extended cellaring. So let's get this into the glass, and we're going to pour it down the center just like we did the last couple of Imperials, and see what we end up with. Man, that eighth of a finger of head. It's just barely coloring the top of the beer. Over to the light, very similar to the other two that we've done yesterday and the day before. It's a very deep mahogany copper color, guys. Let's get a nose to it. Well, let me tell you what I'm smelling. Can you guess? Nutmeg, ginger, cinnamon, allspice, maybe a hint of some cloves. Very typical. Very atypical, guys. If you're expecting something different from a pumpkin beer, you might be smoking a little too much crack. Smells just like pumpkin pie. I mean, it's got the pumpkin pie spices going on. Not getting a big booziness from a 9.27 beer, though. That tells me it's probably a pretty well-made beer. So let's dive in, see what we got. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Brandon. A little more butteriness to this. So I don't know if they're using like butternut squash or any kind of pumpkins in that. Pumpkin, like I told you yesterday, seems a little bit too buttery in my opinion. A lot of people love that beer. I think it's the best thing they ever had. To me, it's a little too buttery. To me, it tastes like stale buttery popcorn. Now, the Warlock, done by Southern Tier 2, I find to be a little bit more to my palate. It's not too over the top as far as the butteriness. This one has a little bit of that butteriness, but it's not over the top. That, to be honest with you guys, that tastes pretty good. It really does. I like a little bit of butteriness in there, but I don't like that over the top butteriness that pumpkin has to me. There are so many people out there that just can't wait to get their hands on pumpkin every year. It's to die for. I'm not in that crowd. This one has just enough of that butteriness to make it enjoyable for my palate. That's decent. That's a decent beer there. I wouldn't want to drink it all the time. I wouldn't want to have this in the middle of June or July. But for somewhere around Thanksgiving to Christmas, a good tasty beer to try. So, well, let's right out of the fridge. Let's let it warm up and we'll come back and see if we can find a date on this thing anywhere. And right now, my opinion, this one is better than the one we did yesterday and the day before. I'm not getting a big alcohol taste at it, right now, chilled out of the fridge, but that may change. It did on the one we did the day before yesterday. So let's see where it ends up. I'm going to let her taste it and we'll come back and do the final chug. Alright guys, I'm back. Got just a little left here. To me, it's just a little bit better than the one we had yesterday. Now that it's warmed up, there is a slight hint of the alcohol. Almost like a rubbing alcohol smell. I looked at the bottle, there is no date on the bottle anywhere, no vintage or anything like that. It's the biggest problem I have with these guys that do these type of beers, especially in the Imperials, that we need to have some kind of vintage or something. I consider this just like a 9% IPA or anything. If you're not going to put the month and the day on there, at least put the vintage on there. What year it is? 2015, 2016. So, and this one had just a little bit better taste with a little bit of butteriness in there. So I don't know if they're using butternut squash or what they're using to get that little bit of buttery taste in there, but I did enjoy that. But now that it's warmed up, there is a little bit of alcohol presence to it. Well, the only plus I got about, we have no kind of dating on it or anything. And from my experience, I've done some of their stuff before. It's probably something that Brandon has sent me, and I don't know why they don't date their stuff. And maybe because they're a small brewery or a new brewery, I'm not exactly sure. But they need to. They need to do it. Final chug. I thought it was better chilled than I do now. But it's come up to room temperature. The alcohol, it was a little off-putting on this beer. And I think the butteriness of it is not quite as tasty now that it's warmed up than it was when it was chilled. So, guys, I'm going to put this in the B+ category. Numeric rating on this, guys, is an 88. That's where I'm going to put it, especially since I have no kind of dating information on the bottle anywhere. So we'll run over to Beer Advocate, and they say no score. They don't have anything here for it. So that's another reason why I may think it's a smaller brewery with a very limited distribution on the beers. So over to Great Beer. Great Beer's got overall 77, but 90 in the South. And for our final check-in, we'll run over to Untapped. They have it at 3.94. B plus numbers as far as I'm concerned, almost to the A category. And I was very impressed with the chilled out of the fridge. A little bit more, less impressed with it now that it's warmed up. The alcohol has showed its ugly head, and the butteriness is not quite as prominent. So I did not like it after it warmed up. It was a little too boozy and a little too much rubbing alcohol taste to it. So that's where I'm going to put it. Brandon, thanks again, my brother, for sending it to me. This is No Label Brewing Company. These guys are out of Katy, Texas, and this is their Nightmare on First Street. So did enjoy it more when it was cold than I did when it come up to room temperature. So very typical of your pumpkin beers. Pumpkin spices, nutmegs, ginger, cinnamon, allspice, goes with all of them, goes well with pumpkin pie or some kind of pumpkin-y type dessert. So glad this wraps up the 2016 version of the pumpkin beers. If I find another one, I will not be doing it. It will sit in the closet or the fridge until next October. I am done with the pumpkin beers till next year. So that being said, if you've had this one, let me know what you think, and come back tomorrow. We're going to dig something out of the fridge, and it's not going to be a pumpkin beer, trust me. See you then.